India is one of the fastest growing economies in the world right now. It's one of the new gems in emerging markets. One thing that we are unaware of is that sometimes we think China is the largest country in the world. India actually surpassed China in 2022, where their population is now 1.45 billion versus 1.4 billion. You look at the young, vibrant demographics of India, 50% of their population is under 25, 65% of their population is under 35. And then you look at the median age is 28. When you look in context of China, their median age is 39. You look at in context to North America, Canada is 40 and the US is 38. So when you have a young demographics that's growing, this will start to move consumption, productivity, and innovation. Then you look at the urbanization. There are lots and lots of people leaving smaller towns, villages, small cities to the larger cities. That means the middle class is now growing. And then lastly but not least, you're looking at the pro-government reform, which is really pushing India to the next level. You're getting a core market cap exposure into the Indian market at 19 basis points. You don't have to buy it through an ADR or a GDR. You're actually getting it through an ETF that provides you with access to the Indian market through the local exchanges in a cost-effective manner at 19 basis points. The second thing is a pure play. So versus trying to find a manager that's investing in India or buying an emerging market broad passive index and trying to find your Indian exposure that way, you can actually buy a pure play into the Indian market. And lastly but not least, this is piggybacking on our success of an Indian ETF we already have in the US, which is $2.4 billion in size. So now you're getting access to that same ETF, but in Canadian dollars for our Canadian client base. When you're building out your portfolio, you tend to have an emerging market exposure. So it tends to be a satellite component of your emerging market exposure. So you're buying your emerging market ETF, and then you're overweighting that with an Indian exposure because you like Indian stocks over the broad emerging markets. The second way you can do it is decoupling your emerging market exposure, where instead of buying a broad brush, you pick the countries that you choose, and India could be one of those that you choose to get that exposure. And then the exposure you're looking for in terms of percentage-wise, you tend to look at it as a 2 to 3% of your portfolio in that part of your portfolio to really take advantage of the Indian stock market.